the SWAH very well. I visited family. I absolutely agree with you, and I know that many of you know my background. You will know that I know the SWAH very well. I visited family in it many, many times. It is a fabulous facility that is hugely, hugely underused and underutilised. But if we are to build up and to utilise the facility, we can't do it without staff, and we need an investment in long-term recruitment, as you say, and we need to build up our health service capacity in relation to staff. So, I mean, I mention it because I think that the emergency surgery issue is really, really important, but for me as well, building up that cohort of staff that support emergency surgery, not just consultants, is also hugely important as well. And I do think that the announcement about the elective procedures, while I welcome them, I mean, like yourselves, I welcome them. Anyone who's knee or hip pain will be delighted to have their surgery done. As I understand it, it's mostly day procedures that are being done. But they'll be delighted to have it done in a facility like the SWAH. So yes, it is good as far as it goes, but it's very temporary and it's not an answer. And I thought maybe we were kind of being led in a way that maybe didn't help us to see the full picture. I'll maybe leave it at that. In as polite a way as I can. But thank you for all that you do. I intend to pursue some of these questions with the Trust when we see them.
I just wondered, and it might be something that you could maybe bring up with the Trust. We are made aware, as I've said to you, there's a huge amount of trust placed in us at this stage by staff. There are a lot of staff who are not on full-time contracts and would love full-time contracts. There's a lot of part-time contracts. There are people who are applying for their own jobs with regularity. And there are people who we get contacting us. One, even this week, did. Diane to get in to help out with winter pressure, but just not an option. There's not going to be. That was a nursing position, I should have said too. So it is, recruitment has to be permanent for any nurse to be able to settle in an area. It has to be completely permanent.
Thank you. Landa?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to all three of you for your presentation. It's more than a question, it's more of a point, Chair, rather than a question. And to yourself, I would like to see the statistics around that last point that Helen made around the permanent contracts for staff, because that is true. There's absolutely no way that staff are going to stay somewhere that they're not secure, that they don't have a secured post, and that will lead to, as we've said, it's actually that is what will lead to the winding down of services within the hospital. I also think that we need to get some statistics around, precise statistics around what is going on in the hospital. I would like to understand why the elective surgery would be being stepped down over the winter pressure months. I mean, I think it's probably down to the availability of surgeons, but I think we need to know that. And is it because the SWAH has been used more for patients who just need to be hospitalised, who are very ill? So we need to understand all of that. I think that it's really important that we get information around that.
It's not a question.
Sorry, just the last thing that I just wanted to ask is, and I don't know if it's for us to ask the Minister, is around the commissioning of those 92 beds that Helen referred to. So if there's 92 beds uncommissioned, is that down to the Trust or is it down to SVPG? We need to understand, have bids been put in for those beds to be commissioned for a specific reason, and those have been turned down? Because I would be very concerned if I thought that we talk constantly about having services in all of the hospitals and needing every single hospital, but where there's a hospital with beds available, we're thinking it's away out in Fermanagh, not going to use that. If that's the approach from the department officials, I would be very, very concerned about that, because that's a bigger issue than the Trust.
Can I just say, just very, very quickly on that, Linda, and thank you very much, that from the point of view of when we met with the department and with the Western Trust on the 10th of March, Neil Guckian, the Chief Executive of the Western Trust, did point out, and Helen has said it already, that he's repeatedly asking the department to free up these beds, that they need to be commissioned. Okay, so now, obviously it's a question that you can ask the Chief Executive yourself, but it would seem that we should be focused on the SPPG with regard to trying to get those beds commissioned
and staffed.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yep.
Write to the department on that one.
Yep.
Chair.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.